launching into. So any updated thoughts there would be helpful. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Valmol. So first on migraine, if you wind back the clock a little over a year ago, we didn't have any products in the market. We were supporting 3 different clinical trials independent of our aesthetics in the therapeutic side with plantar fasciitis, cervical dystonia, and upper limb spasticity. So frankly, it was a little bit of a capital allocation and where we were with these different things. And so we had to make choices about where we thought we could generate the best return. And so that was really the biggest influencer. We share your view that certainly the migraine market is very large in size, and therefore the sooner you get going, the sooner you kind of unlock it. But it was really more of a capital allocation decision. And so for this year, given the launch of our aesthetics franchise and the importance of getting that right, we said, migraine is not something that we're going to advance this year, and that it's, not an if, it's a when. And so, obviously that's going to be one of the key areas that gets discussed as we kind of move into the planning cycle for 2022. We'll also get the benefit of, our neuromodulator product being in the market and getting, some feedback on, overall performance there. So I think that's something that will help us as well. So stay tuned on that. We do like, our therapeutics franchise is now starting to come into view. We're starting to move out of that clinical phase and are focused on commercial. So we're excited that we think we'll finally be able to start getting, some traction and credit for the investments that we've made there. On the DAXI pricing, nothing really new there. We've historically talked about the fact that, we've invested hundreds of millions of dollars to bring, true innovation into this category. And as a result, based on the duration profile and our market research, we believe that we can charge a premium. Our physicians will pay a premium, and they can charge their consumers a premium too, and that everybody wins in that stack. Also, we're not trying to be everything to everybody. Our strategy of prestige category means that it'll work for some consumers and some practices and not for everybody. But we think within that overall sort of pricing stack that physicians will be able to make more money, consumers will pay more, and that we have an ability to charge more than the marketed products today. So obviously more to come on the pricing details once we launch and are in the market.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thanks, Valmol.
Thank you. And your next question comes from the line of Serge Belanger from Needham & Company. Your line is now open.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for taking my questions. First one on the RHA fillers. Mark, I know you don't want to give guidance for this product at this time, but you had a really solid quarter in what is normally a slower, weak seasonal quarter for the aesthetics market. So can you just give us an idea of what is the usual step down from 4Q to 1Q in aesthetic procedure volumes, and whether how much more depressed it was because of COVID, and how we should think about those revenues going forward?
Yeah, so on the filler side, I guess it's a little hard, Serge, because you got some headwinds and you got some tailwinds. The tailwind, we're in launch mode, right? So we have the ability to grow a little bit just by opening up new accounts, right, at a more rapid pace, given the fact that we have new products in the marketplace. As you pointed out, the historical trends, Q4 to Q1, it can be down as much as 20%, from an overall procedure volume standpoint. But we've also got things that are starting to open up with the pandemic, so we're seeing some benefits there as well. And so it's hard. We're obviously working our way through our funnel, and we're also targeting those accounts that are more amenable to leaning in. And as we work our way through that, and as we go towards the back part of the year, it's possible that gets a little harder as, those folks there. And then certainly once our neuromodulator comes in, it's going to create yet another new opportunity for people to engage. So I know it's a big non-answer, but we were very pleased with the performance in Q1. Again, it sort of outpaced our internal expectations. It's still early. We're cautiously optimistic. We would expect that, given we're still in the launch phase, that certainly Q1 to Q2 that revenue will be up, and that we'll continue to drive more account activations, and that we'll get the benefit of the reorder rate. So stay tuned, and again, we're happy to share some of these metrics once we have confidence that we've got enough data to tease out some trends.
Okay. Just a quick one on HitMD. As you expand your presence there, what are you displacing? And with the release of the next gen platform, Does that change the economics at all on what you can capture from the growing processing volumes?
Yeah, so in terms of who we're displacing, I mean, there's a lot of different credit card processing companies that are out there. So it's not like there's, 3 or 4 and we're fighting the share battle. So, in some cases they might have a Square device that they're using, or it might be a device that's provided by a third-party credit card reseller. And so I think it's a mix of who we're displacing. And at some level that helps a little bit because there's not sort of an organized large company out there that we're battling over. And we have a bit of an unfair advantage given our domain expertise because a lot of these companies sell credit card systems that go into a variety of different industries, and they aren't necessarily specifically designed and developed for it. Right now, until we launch the next version, which has payment facilitator capabilities, we're really competing right now on a little bit competitive credit card pricing. So some people are saying, hey, I like where this is going. If you can give me competitive pricing, I'm happy to kind of get started with you. Once we turn on the payment facilitator, then we have an ability to participate in a little bit more of the credit card stack from a revenue perspective. But we also, more importantly, will be able to turn on some functionality around, again, subscriptions, white label loyalty, data analytics. And I think that's when the value of the platform will be more clear to some of these practices. So I would expect as we move through that back part, it'll be some of these services that we start turning on. We made sort of the conscious effort not to try and do any of that until we had this next software version ready to go. That's a payment facilitator because, on the current platform, it takes a lot of hand-holding and we think it's just not scalable. So once this new software upgrade comes in, we think we'll be better positioned for that. So again, we're encouraged to get that out there. We're in beta right now and seeing some good results.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. And your next question comes from the line of Doug Chow from H.C. Wainwright. Your line is now open.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for taking my question. Chris Bialis on for Doug. So I just wanted to see if I could get a little bit more color on the Chinese partnership. When do you, what's your timeline for this? When do you expect the study to conclude and potential launch? And as a follow-up, I was wondering, are you just planning for aesthetic indications, or are you also thinking about international therapeutic indications? Thanks.
Thanks for the question. Alpai, why don't I turn that over to you to answer?
Sure. Yeah. So Chris, a great question on the Fosun side. We are really excited about the advancement of our program into clinicals with our collaboration in 2 indications of glabellar lines and cervical dystonia. Both the clinical trials for GL and CD are run by Fosun, of which we support the partnership, and so we will inform you about the trial completion dates and the progress as we go along further in the clinical trials program. With regards to other indications, at this point, we only plan to initiate our program for glabellar lines and cervical dystonia.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. And no further questions at this time. I'll turn the call over back to Mark Foley.
Thank you, operator. In the coming months, we plan to virtually attend the William Blair and Goldman Sachs healthcare conferences. We welcome your requests for meetings at these events or directly through us. Feel free to reach out to Jessica if you'd like to schedule some time. With that, I would like to thank all of you for participating in today's call.
This concludes today's conference call. You may now disconnect. Welcome to the Revance Therapeutics First Quarter 2021 Financial Results and Corporate Update Conference Call. At this time, all participants are in the listen-only mode. Following management's prepared remarks, we will hold a Q&A session. To ensure that we have ample time